Hey there and welcome to what might be the last part of our current walkthrough of Hellblade. We are standing right in front of the final gate to Hela, where all our questions will be answered and our quest will hopefully finally be complete. Damn, I feel kinda nervous actually, don't you? Maybe it would be more prudent to turn back to the beginning, like the voices have suggested. But no, let's keep moving forwards.
Someday. And when everyone's gone, even the gods will die.
We don't want to die. I don't want to die. Senua,
there can be no master without servant.
Stop. What happens to us?
And there can be no world without individual determinations. So apparently we're heading towards a mirror. Which kinda makes sense, because Senua's greatest enemy is herself.
I didn't ask you to be a part of me. If you don't want to die with me, then leave me alone.
This is pretty suggestive. Let's see what the mirror will provide in terms of answers and information.
I don't want to die. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop.
I don't want to kill you either.
Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. You'll never come back if you go there.
There's nothing to go back to.
We only have each other now. Don't abandon me.
Everyone suffers. They were right about me.
Listen to me, not to them. They were afraid, like children scared of the dark.
So was I.
They made up monsters to fill the void. That doesn't make them real.
They made them real.
No!
Soul, and let go of the Senua alone. For there hides your weakness, and the darkness will find it.
So one could say that reality has become reflection and reflection has become reality.
It's not like the old stories, is it? The noble warrior facing evil in search of victory and honor. Clear dividing lines. No. Oh, this place is not quite like that. It's as if it knows that true torment lies within. Memories you cannot defeat, cannot escape. This is her hell.
So we passed through a mirror and we have another one over here. So it's like a mirror within a mirror. And this one contains all the symbols of the stories that Druth put inside her. So this is like the obvious conclusion of all these stories. And of Senua reaching beyond herself. Damn.
You see it, Senua? Do you see the darkness? Faces of fear and suffering. I can see it.
So she was burnt at the stake by her own husband. And this is the first memory that Senua had to hide deep within herself.
She has nothing to fear anymore. The gods have saved your life. Through my hands.
You killed her.
It is the will of the gods.
Fuck the gods! You did this to her! Why?
This is what happens when you listen to the voices of the underworld. They crawl into your soul and rot you from the inside. Defy the gods like your mother, and the darkness will come from you too. You understand, son?
I do understand. You cursed me with your own madness. I was just a child. You created this darkness! You created this darkness so you could hide behind it!
Only suffering brings salvation. It is the way of the gods.
It is
It was all a
very
lie.
easy to hide your wickedness behind the higher power.
You are a lie! She didn't defy the gods. She defied you! And so you killed her!
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness and abandoned you.
You tortured her! You killed her! You are the darkness!
Rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you. There is no way to fight the curse within you. The darkness is inside you and will destroy you.
You're a liar!
No, Senua. The darkness is here. You cannot wish it away. And it will watch as you draw your last dying guts.
I won't let you kill me!
So atmospheric. This is pretty awesome. I will refrain my thoughts until the end of the game because there is so much I want to say and this is not the time. Let's just enjoy the atmosphere here. sword is much more powerful now. I guess it reflects her rage.
Watch out.
And determination.
Careful, Senua.
Such great music also.
Behind you.
I can see through your darkness. You're a liar and a murderer. And if you really are Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
Run forward, moving hands to swallow your miserable past. You're making a mistake searching for Hela. The same mistake that killed him in the first place.
I love how she doesn't need to focus anymore to shape reality. Reality automatically shapes itself in front of her.
Trying to save you from yourself. You still believe it is a lie. The plague of gods, the butchering of the animals, and you saw it yourself.
You told everyone I was cursed. They believed you. I believed you.
Tell me, Senua, where is Gideon's soul if the darkness is a lie? How will you save him?
He's here. I know he's here. Dillian, I know you're here. Hold on. I'll find you.
Great voice acting. Her desperation is so palpable. Wow, so now we have the bosses. The bosses we beat are springing back into action.
Behind you.
We have both Balravan and Sword in shadow form.
Careful, Senua.
Kinda proving that she never fought gods in the first place, but only aspects of her mind, of herself.
See? You're trying to trick me again with your lies. I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him.
Derives gone. Derives dead. Let him go.
Or what? What can you do to me that you haven't already? Fight me. Come on.
Damn. There are so many of them. It's becoming clearer and clearer that this is a fight you cannot beat. You cannot win.
Watch out.
You're basically exhausted now. Each monster that you kill makes the battle harder and harder.
Behind you.
love how the voices all say at this point, let go Senua, let go of your battle. There's nothing to fight anymore. But she refuses to be defeated.
Let go of Dillion. Let go of your battle.
No!
Let go of your battle. Let go of the chaos.
Well, she died on her feet, so to speak. But she's not dead yet.
You're alive. And there's no derives. And you never took him from me, did you? And I can't seem to.
Such powerful
Is that what you want
acting.
me to believe? After all you've done to me and to him? You're not a liar, but you're a liar. You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. And I know it. I know you have it. I'll give you my life. That's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be a slave for you. I'll fight with you at Ragnarok.
You are basically assisting at the 5 stages of grief. So denial, anger, now bargaining, depression, and acceptance. It all fits really nicely. into this story.
But if you won't, you will have to kill me. Because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. And you will have no power over me.
Such an emotional scene.
I learned the hard way to not be afraid of death, so... Because a life without loss is one without love. You turn your back on death, and all you can see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is darkness. When our time comes, we must look death in the eye and embrace it as a friend. Only then can we let go of our fear. And emerge fresh.
Hela's design here reminds me of the fountain. Darren Aronofsky's The Fountain, to a great degree.
Never forget what it is like to see the world as a child, Senua. Every autumn leaf is like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day a new story. We too emerge from this magic. like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea. Do not mourn the waves, the leaves, and the clouds. Even in darkness, the wonder and the beauty of this world never leaves us. It is always there, waiting to be seen again.
And the voices are back once again.
Oh no. Oh. It's the rot. It's different. It feels okay.
This is where my story once began.
It's different.
And so it has to end here. Because I cannot see further than this. Follow us. We have another story to tell. My friend, go with her. This now will be your story to witness. Goodbye.
I know it's hard to tell how mixed up you feel. Hoping what you need is behind every door. Each time you get hurt, I don't want you to change. 'Cause everyone has hopes. You're human after all. The feeling sometimes.
Yeah, sorry, it has taken its toll on me, even if it's the second time I've played it.
This feeling is not sadness. This feeling is not.
I also love this song, VNV Nation Illusion.
Please don't cry now.
That's its name.
Please don't go.
I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Please don't leave here.
I don't want you to hate for all the hurt that you feel.
The world is just illusion, trying to change you.
Being like you are, well, this is something.
This is the essence of the game, basically. The world is just illusion, trying to change you.
To lay claim divine purpose blesses them. Well, that's not what I believe, and it doesn't matter anyway. A part of your soul ties you to the next world, or maybe to the last, but I'm still not sure. But what I do know is to us the world is different, as we are to the world, but I guess you won't know that.
Please don't go, I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Please don't live here. I don't want you to hate for all the hurt that you feel. The world is just illusion, trying to change you.
Please don't go, I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Oh, please don't leave here. I don't want you to change for all the hurt that you feel.
This world is just illusion, always trying to change you.
Please don't go.
I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Please don't live here. I don't want you to hate for all the hurt that you feel. This world is just illusion, trying to change you. Please don't go. I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Oh, please don't live here. I don't want you to change for all the hurt that you feel. This world is just illusion, always trying to change you. Phew. Yeah, so what can I still say? I love how the song changes its lyrics. So I don't want you to hate, and then I don't want you to change. The world is just illusion trying to change you, and then the world is just illusion always trying to change you. So yeah, it's all a crescendo again. And it struck me right in the feels for the second time around. So this is definitely not a romantic tale, in my opinion, even if it does have a lot of the ingredients, the traditional ingredients that make a love story great. But at the end of the day, it's not even a story about redemption. It's a story about trying to find light in a very dark world. And it's a story about trying to impersonate this very light that you're looking for. So the light is anthropomorphic, is let's say captured in the structure of a human being or of multiple human beings, the ones that act as our guides through this world, the ones that give us hope no matter how dark our surroundings are. And these people are few, and they're very precious. And the moment such a person leaves your life, you are thrown into a vortex of darkness, of doubting yourself, into a vortex of purposelessness, if I may use this word. And that's because you no longer have any compass to guide you, and you're left with this dark, cold, indifferent world that always tries to change you. And in Senua's case, her mother was her first light, and she was snuffed out by her father. That's why the father represents the shadow in this story. And you can see there is a difference between the shadow and the darkness. The darkness is, let's say, a concept that Senua created in order to explain everything wrong in her life. An all-encompassing concept of everything that she fears, that she loathes, and so on and so forth. But the shadow, to a certain degree, is more important in this story than the darkness, because the shadow cannot exist without the light, in the absence of light. So the shadow is always a counterpart to the things that make life livable. It is not an abstract concept at all. It is not an all-encompassing force of nature. It is that thing that accompanies us all the time throughout our existence and makes everything hard to bear. And you may be able to let go of the darkness, especially the one that you create, that you mentally create inside yourself, but you are never fully able to let go of the shadow. So at the end of the day, you just have to learn to live with it. And that's what Senua did in the end. She was her own final boss, so to speak. She was her Hela. She was the sum of all her demons. And she was tormented by the shadow throughout this story. So I already said that her mother was the first light in her life, and when she got killed, Senua basically erased the memory of her death from her mind, especially the way she died, because that memory would have broken her. And it is subtly implied that her mental problems were, at least in part, triggered by that event, and amplified, of course, by her father's cruelty in relation to her. And for a certain period of time, that cruelty was all that she knew. It was her reality, her inescapable reality. But then Dillian entered her life, and he became her second light. He became a replacement for the light that she lost when her mother was killed at the stake. So you can imagine how terrible the moment of Dillian's death will have felt, because that's the moment in which she lost her light for a second time. And she had nothing else to replace that light with. So all her mental problems became amplified, and she started to create a reality for herself, a reality that could help her cope with the death of Dillian. a reality in which she still had a purpose: to avenge him, to put his soul to rest. And it is implied that at a subconscious level she wanted to move on, but she couldn't, because moving on terrified her, and she just didn't know how to do that. So I guess the bottom line of the game is that when you cannot see any light in your life, you must always find it within you. You are forced to find it within you. Otherwise, suicide might actually be an option worth considering. And that's what she did to a certain degree at the end. She stopped looking for the light outside of her. She finally put Dillian's soul to rest because she was able to let go. And by doing that, she became herself the vessel of Dillian's light. She incorporated the memories of him within her, the good memories of him. And to a certain degree, she was saved by doing that, because there was nothing else waiting for her. Of course, one might say that now she also has the opportunity to get revenge on the Norsemen for the death of Dillian. It is unclear if she managed to do this in this story. I know there is a second part of the game which hasn't been released yet, but let's say people are working hard at it, from what I managed to gather by browsing the internet. And that story is apparently one about revenge, so we're gonna see how that one plays out. But I think this game has a great conclusion on its own and doesn't necessarily need a second part. I'm excited that it's gonna get a sequel, but I don't think it was ultimately necessary. It could have been a standalone story and it wouldn't have suffered at all from it. So these were my thoughts on the game, my final thoughts, so to speak. Of course, it's such a powerful experience, and it kind of shatters. It kind of makes you it kind of makes you feel like an emotional wreckage at the end of it, especially if you are let's say an adept of these existential stories. If you resonate with this fight of the human nature against destiny, against gods, against its very own limitations, if you are an adept of all these things, then this story will be able to speak with you on a very personal level. And I'm grateful for this game, for being able to experience it being able to go through it, and I think it is a game that will stay with me for a very long time. So in the end, I want to thank you all for being a part of this walkthrough. Hope that the game was able to resonate with you as well. Hope that you had fun with the gameplay and found my commentaries enlightening, at least to some degree. So until I'll be able to do a commentary of a distinct game, I wish you all the best. Hopefully you'll be able to find some gems of a game for yourselves, and let's make this journey through life one to remember. That's all I had to say. Thank you very much.